You stop being the nice girl. She's been told all her life to be the nice girl. To smile when she doesn't feel like smiling. To agree when she wants to disagree. To keep the peace, even if it costs her own. But nice is not the same as kind. Nice is often a performance. A mask worn to keep everyone else comfortable while she quietly suffocates inside. Kindness, real kindness, comes from strength, and strength requires boundaries. She has lived in the prison of people, pleasing, thinking that if she just gave a little more, tried a little harder, they would finally see her worth. But the truth is, no matter how much she gives, it will never be enough for those who are committed to taking. She could pour herself out until she's empty, and they'd still want more. That's why she has to stop living for their approval and start living for her purpose. Boundaries are not cold, they are necessary. Saying no is not being rude, it's being honest. It's protecting her time, her energy, and her dignity. The moment she stops chasing applause is the moment she starts walking in her power. Every time she accepts less than she deserves, she trains people to keep giving her less. Every time she tolerates disrespect, she signals that she's willing to live without respect. That ends now. She must raise the standard. She must teach people how to treat her, not with endless yeses and forced smiles, but with a quiet strength that says, I know my worth. Because the world will never value her more than she values herself. She doesn't need to be liked by everyone, because some will dislike her no matter what she does. But respect, that is earned when she respects herself first. She will stop being the nice girl. She will start being the woman who owns her voice, stands her ground, and refuses to shrink to fit into places she's outgrown. And when she walks in that truth, she will no longer be asking for permission to exist. She will be too busy living the life she was meant to live, because she was never born to just be nice. She was born to be powerful. Do you want me to now make this more fire-filled and stage ready? Exactly how Les Brown would deliver it. That way it hits like a motivational knockout. Nice is often mistaken for kind, but they are not the same. Being nice is about being agreeable, pleasant, and keeping everyone else comfortable. Even if it means swallowing your truth and silencing your needs. It's about avoiding conflict at all costs. Smiling when you don't feel like smiling. And saying yes when every part of you is screaming no. Kindness, on the other hand, is rooted in strength. It's not about pleasing people. It's about honoring people, and that includes honoring yourself. A nice person will give you their last drop of energy just to keep you happy, even if it leaves them drained. A kind person will help you, but they will also protect their own well-being, because they understand that true compassion can't come from an empty soul. Nice is often a performance. It's the mask someone wears, because they've been taught that their worth is measured by how much they can keep everyone else happy. Kindness is not a mask. It's a part of your character. Nice is reactive. It changes depending on who's watching and what's expected. Kindness is steady. It's an unshakable commitment to doing what's right, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it disappoints people. Nice avoids telling the truth if it might upset someone. Kindness is willing to tell the truth with love, because truth leads to growth. The danger of being nice is that it can turn into self-betrayal. When you are always trying to please others, you teach them that your needs don't matter. You give them silent permission to take advantage of you. People may praise you for being so sweet or so easygoing, but deep inside, you feel unseen, unheard, and undervalued. That's because being nice often means abandoning yourself. Being kind means including yourself in the circle of care and compassion. When you choose kindness over niceness, you stop living for approval and start living with integrity. You start making decisions based not on what will make people like you, but on what will keep you aligned with your values. Kindness may not make everyone happy, but it will make you whole. And in the end, it's better to be respected for your honesty than liked for your compliance. Nice may win you temporary approval, but kindness will earn you lasting respect, both from others and from yourself, if you want. I can make the next point up. People pleasing is a prison, in the same powerful style, so it flows as part of your full speech. Would you like me to do that? People pleasing might look harmless on the surface, but in reality, it's a cage that slowly steals your freedom. It begins innocently. You say yes because you don't want to upset someone. You agree to help even when you're exhausted. You change your plans to fit theirs because you want to be seen as dependable. Over time, it becomes a habit. You measure your worth by how happy you can keep everyone else. And without realizing it, you lock yourself inside a prison built from other people's expectations. The bars are made of fear. Fear of disappointing others, fear of being judged, fear of not being liked. You hand over the keys to your life, letting others decide where you go, how you act, and what you say. The problem is, people pleasing is a never-ending game, and the rules are always changing. No matter how much you give, no matter how much you bend yourself to fit someone else's needs, it will never be enough for those who only care about what you can do for them. You could drain yourself dry trying to meet every demand, and they would still ask for more. And the worst part, the more you please, the more they expect. The more you sacrifice, the less they respect your boundaries. Because you've shown them you're willing to sacrifice yourself to keep them happy. Living this way takes a silent toll on your spirit. You start to lose sight of who you are because your choices are no longer your own. You begin to resent the very people you're trying to please. But that resentment turns inward too. You start blaming yourself for feeling trapped. You tell yourself you should be stronger, but you keep playing the role because you've been conditioned to believe that your value comes from being agreeable and accommodating. Breaking free from people pleasing means accepting a hard truth. Some people will be disappointed when you stop living for them. They will call you selfish. They will accuse you of changing. And they're right. You are changing. You are no longer willing to live in a cage. that you built with your own hands. Freedom doesn't come from being liked by everyone. It comes from liking yourself enough to say, no more. When you let go of the need for constant approval, you open the door to a life where your choices, your time, and your energy belong to you. And that's not selfish, it's survival. Do you want me to continue with boundaries are self, respect in action, in the same style, so the momentum of the speech builds naturally? Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are lines that define how far others can go with you. They are not about pushing people away. They are about protecting the space where your peace, your energy, and your dignity lie. When you set a boundary, you are saying to the world, I respect myself enough to decide what I will and will not allow. It's not an act of cruelty. It's an act of clarity. Too often, people misunderstand boundaries as selfishness, but in truth, they are one of the most loving things you can give to yourself and to others. Without boundaries, relationships turn into chaos, and your life becomes an open door for anyone to walk in and take what they want. Whether it's your time, your energy, or your emotional stability, setting boundaries can be uncomfortable, especially if you're used to saying yes all the time. At first, people might push back. They might question your change, accuse you of being distant, or try to guilt you into giving more than you're willing to give. But here's the truth. Those who truly care for you will respect your boundaries. Those who don't respect them were only benefiting from your lack of them. Every time you enforce a boundary, you send a powerful message. I am not available for disrespect. I am not available for manipulation. I am not available for anything that drains me more than it feeds me. Boundaries also teach you about yourself. They reveal what you value, what you will tolerate, and what you will absolutely not accept. They allow you to move through life with a sense of confidence because you know where you stand. You stop living reactively, constantly adjusting to others' demands, and start living intentionally, choosing how and with whom you invest your energy. Self-respect is not just a feeling. It's a series of decisions. One of the most powerful decisions you can make is to protect your own well-being. Boundaries are the physical expression of that decision. They are your way of saying, I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of rest. I am worthy of relationships that add value to my life. When you live with strong boundaries, you stop being a doormat for others to wipe their feet on and start being the architect of your own life. You stop running on empty because you've learned that protecting yourself is not weakness. It is the purest form of strength. Do you want me to keep going with strength over approval, so the speech flows with the same emotional intensity? Chasing approval is one of the quickest ways to lose yourself. When your sense of worth depends on whether others like you, you hand over control of your happiness to people who may not even care about you. You start shaping your words, your actions, and even your dreams to fit into the box of what you think will make them smile or clap for you. And here's the harsh truth. Approval is temporary. The same people who cheer for you today can turn their backs on you tomorrow. If your confidence is built on their applause, it will crumble the moment the noise stops. That's why choosing strength over approval is not just important, it's necessary. Strength is rooted in authenticity. It's about standing firm in your truth, even when it's unpopular, even when it makes others uncomfortable. It's saying, I know who I am, and I'm not going to shrink myself to earn a seat at your table. Approval seekers bend themselves into shapes they were never meant to fit, hoping that if they just try harder, they'll finally be accepted. But strength says, I'll build my own table, and I'll decide who sits with me. Choosing strength over approval doesn't mean you don't care about others. It means you don't compromise your values to please them. It means you're willing to walk alone if the path you're on is the right one for you. It means that your sense of self-worth comes from within, not from the unpredictable tides of public opinion. When you live this way, you stop fearing rejection, because you understand that not every loss is a loss. Sometimes it's a gain in disguise. The moment you stop seeking approval is the moment you start living in freedom. You stop second-guessing your choices. You stop apologizing for existing. You stop editing yourself to fit into spaces that don't honor you. Instead, you move forward with your head high, your shoulders back, and your heart open, not to be liked, but to be real. And here's the beautiful part. When you lead with strength, the right people, the ones who value you for who you truly are, will show up. And you won't need to beg for their approval, because their respect will be the natural result of your authenticity. Do you want me to continue with, you teach people how to treat you, so the full series stays consistent in style and impact? Every interaction you have with someone is a lesson you're giving them on how to treat you. Whether you realize it or not, you are setting the standard for what is acceptable and what is not. If you allow someone to speak to you with disrespect, you've silently told them it's okay. If you tolerate being taken for granted, you've given them permission to keep doing it. This isn't about blame. It's about recognizing the power you have in shaping the way others engage with you. People learn from your boundaries, your reactions, and your willingness or unwillingness to stand up for yourself. The truth is, you can't control how someone chooses to act, but you can control what you accept. And the more you allow certain behaviors, the more they will repeat. This is why self-respect is non-negotiable. When you carry yourself with dignity, when you speak with confidence, when you follow through on your boundaries, you send a clear message. This is the level at which I will be treated, and I will accept nothing less. People might test those limits, but if you stay consistent, they will learn exactly where the line is, and they will either step up or step out. Many people stay stuck in unhealthy patterns because they believe they have no power to change them. They think this is just how it is, but it isn't. The moment you decide you will no longer tolerate certain behavior, you change the entire dynamic. Some people will resist that change because it's easier for them when you require nothing. But the ones who truly value you will respect the standard you set. It's important to remember that you're always teaching people something, whether intentionally or not. If you show that you're willing to abandon your needs to keep the peace, they will expect you to do it again and again. But if you show that you value your time, your energy, and your worth, they will be forced to treat you with the respect you demand. This doesn't mean you become cold or unkind. It means you refuse to participate in your own mistreatment. You can still be loving, compassionate, and understanding without being a doormat. At the end of the day, the standard you set is the one people will rise or fall to meet. And the moment you start teaching from a place of self-respect, you stop asking for respect and start commanding it. The world takes its cues from you. If you walk into it doubting yourself, apologizing for your presence, and lowering your standards just to be accepted, people will treat you exactly the way you treat yourself. But when a woman carries herself with self-respect, when she moves through life with a quiet confidence that says, I know my worth, the world has no choice but to adjust. Respect isn't something you beg for. It's something you command by the way you live. Speak and hold your ground. A woman who respects herself does not chase validation. She doesn't need to prove herself to anyone because she already knows who she is. She doesn't settle for relationships that drain her, jobs that undervalue her, or friendships that take without giving. She understands that her time is valuable, her energy is precious, and her heart is not for sale. She knows that setting boundaries isn't about keeping people out. It's about keeping her peace in. When a woman respects herself, she becomes unshakable. People can disagree with her. They can even dislike her, but they cannot ignore her. Her presence demands attention, not because she's loud or aggressive, but because she radiates a certainty that she will not be disrespected. And here's the truth. Those who can't handle that will fall away, but those who are meant to be in her life will rise to meet her standard. The world tests every woman. It will try to make her smaller, quieter, more compliant. It will reward her for being agreeable and punish her for speaking her mind. But the woman who respects herself doesn't bend to fit into the boxes society offers her. She creates her own space, and she takes up room unapologetically. She knows that respect is not given to those who wait for it. It is given to those who insist on it through their actions, their decisions, and their refusal to accept less than they deserve. The world will mirror back to you the way you see yourself. If you treat yourself as an afterthought, you'll be treated like one. But if you treat yourself as a priority, as someone worthy of love, honor, and fairness, others will follow suit. And the beautiful thing is, once you truly respect yourself, you'll never have to chase respect from anyone else. It will naturally gravitate toward you. Because the woman who respects herself teaches the world exactly how to treat her, and the world can't help but listen. If you want, I can now stitch all 7 sections into one seamless, Les Brown style powerhouse speech, so it flows without breaks and hits like a complete motivational talk. Would you like me to do that? So here's the truth. She was never meant to live her life bending, shrinking, and breaking herself just to keep everyone else comfortable. She was never meant to be the nice girl who says yes when she wants to say no, who trades her peace for approval, who lets others decide her worth. She was meant to be strong. She was meant to stand tall. She was meant to take up space in this world without apology. Every no she speaks with courage. Every boundary she draws with conviction. Every moment she chooses strength over approval is not just a stand for herself. It's a lesson to the world on how to treat her. And when she respects herself truly and deeply, she becomes unstoppable. Not because the path gets easier, but because her spirit gets stronger. The people who can't handle her strength will fall away. And that's not a loss, it's a clearing. It's making room for those who see her, value her, and meet her at the level she deserves. Life will always test her, but from this day forward, she will pass those tests not by pleasing, but by leading, not by waiting for permission, but by walking in her power. She will no longer water herself down to fit someone else's cup. She will no longer play small so others can feel big. She will no longer trade her authenticity for acceptance. She will rise, not because the world gives her a place, but because she takes it. And in doing so, she will inspire others. Because when one woman stands in her worth, she gives silent permission for every woman watching to do the same. She is not here to be nice. She is here to be powerful. She is here to be free. And now, she finally is.